makes cool noises. The Hemi's back. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Hot Cars channel. My name's Amanda Cline and this is the 2026 Ram 1500. Now, if you're asking about the vibes for this, the vibes are good, they're pretty solid, and they're versatile. Ram gives you a bunch of different ways to customize the truck. You can pick your engine, and this one does have the Hemi V8. It gets better power, better fuel economy, and is supposedly a little more quiet for this year. If you're looking at the entry-level Ram 1500, it starts at just over $41,000. This one starts at around $75,000. Ours has a couple upgrades, so it's gonna be over $80K once you're out the door. But what do you get for that $80K? Let me show you. So they did bring back the Hemi V8, and this year it's paired with that hybrid system. So you're gonna get better fuel economy, it's gonna be a little bit quieter, and you get more power, which is super important when you're talking about the 5.7 liter V8. This one has 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. The nice thing is you can opt for either that V8 or you can opt for the Hurricane Inline 6, and there's no charge for either one. So you can kind of build this truck exactly how you like it. Beyond that, there are a number of ways that you can customize the truck as well. It's really tall, but ours has the V8, and I think it's really nice that they've brought back that option. I also really like the front end of the limited trim. You have some LED lights, you have your hooks down here, and just overall, they did a nice job with it for 2026. One of the upgrades that I mentioned that this truck has are these 22-inch wheels. They do have a cool design. You know, I like a funky wheel, but these are a $2,200 upgrade, so I'm not positive if I would spec it the same way if I were building this truck. The original wheels that come on here are pretty cool, and if you don't feel like spending that extra cash, you might want to go that way. These have all-season tires on them, and you have 14.9-inch brakes in the front and 14.8-inch brakes in the back. And then we have running boards that come out, ta-da, when you press unlock. And then we do have remote start, and I feel like I always get this wrong. Okay, I'm gonna lock it. Maybe that's the issue. Let's see. Do it, do it, do it. We did it! Remote start. Works really well. Starts to cool down the cabin, and then when you get inside, the air conditioning is already running for you, or if you have the heat on, if you live somewhere where it's not ridiculously hot. Either way, super nice feature to have. The bed of the truck also has some cool features. We do have a step here. I'm gonna try and step on it. Got it. So you can use that to get up and into the truck bed, but it also has a cool feature on the key over here that should lower it. It never works, right? Is it going down? Hypothetically speaking, it will lower the entire truck so that it's easier to get into. You can control it on the inside on that screen like I showed you, or you can just press the button here. It might not be doing it because I have it on, but either way, you have a nice step here, and then this will open on its own should you want it to do that with another button on the key. Then inside, we have some lights, we have some tie downs. I believe this is the shorter bed style, so I think that there is a longer one that you can opt for. We have a nice little organization gate up there, which is always fun. It'll help you keep your stuff from rolling around in the back there. And then this will go back up if I hold the button on the key. So just some more thoughtful features that Ram included on this truck. On both sides of the truck bed, you have these nice locking boxes that actually have a bunch of space in them. So you can store your tools in here or whatever else you might want to store. It's hard plastic, so you'll be able to keep everything safe and dry in there. And then it has a lock on both sides. So this is just a nice little storage solution. Should you not have a truck bed cover, which we do have, voila, to keep our truck bed nice and clean and covered. I am a big fan of the way the interior of this limited trim is spec'd out. As you can see, it's all black. We have some Napa leather, quilted Napa leather on the seats and on the center console. You have a ton of storage here. And then one thing that's really funny is that you have like a conversion chart over here. So your fraction to decimal chart is right here. You have some angles. It's giving you Pythagorean theorem. If you forgot that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, trigonometry, like if you ever forget any of those things because you didn't pay attention in school, it's all right there for you. We also have one of those little change holders that I swear I have not seen on a car in like 15 years. But should you want to hold your change, Ram has made it easy for you. There's just a really nice like specking going on in here that I'm a big fan of. Tons of cup holders. This looks really nice when it's not in use too. I really like all of the, it reminds me of the black pearl emblems that I had on my old Lexus. They're just kind of shiny and they look nice with all the other black materials in here. Cup holders everywhere, chargers, wireless chargers, but then there's like a wide variety of plugs up here. There's 3 USB, old style USB cord plugs. I forget what they're called. There's 3 USB-C ports. There's an auxiliary plug. And then there's an HDMI plug, which we'll get into a little later when we talk about that screen over there. So no matter what you want to plug in, there is a place for it. Now, this is the upgraded screen. It's 14 inches. And I like it, but I find it a little confusing to use, to be honest. Like, nothing is where you think that it would be on here, and I've spent a significant amount of the week like hunting through here just trying to change things. Your climate controls, like some of them are over here, your temperature, and then the fan is over here, and then like your traction control is up here. There's a mute button on this side, and then over here you have more climate controls. Your like lane keep assist is a button over here for some reason. You can scroll through the stations with that one. I don't really understand. Everything's kind of hard to find in this touch screen, and there are so many places that they are hiding everything. I mean, even just the camera is kind of like hard to nail down. Cameras are fine. This screen and infotainment system just isn't really my favorite, but it gets the job done. There is a smaller one that comes with it, but again, you can upgrade to this one for no charge, so that's kind of nice. Well, look down here, and this is where you can raise and lower the truck if you're trying to load people into it or load stuff into it, or you can lift it up if you're in one of your off-road modes. Your modes are going to be over here. You do have drive modes, and those are going to be controlled over here on the steering wheel, which doesn't make sense to me either. But you have your 4-wheel drive and your 2-wheel drive and all of that on these buttons. Your auto on-off is also over here. And then this is your Prindle, which is still the round little dial, which I've seen some people online talk about whether or not they're happy that that is still around for 2026. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I spent a lot of time accidentally going into park this week, or putting it in neutral, or putting it in drive when I wanted reverse, but whatever. I feel like if you're a Ram truck person, you're probably used to that by now. Beyond that, you do have a digital display up here, and then you have a head-up display. Both work well, not much to write home about with that. You have a nice panoramic roof over here that I was trying to open. So this is the passenger screen on the side of the passenger side of the Ram 1500, obviously. And I don't exactly know its purpose. You can change the audio settings here and like change the radio if you want. We're staying on the Taylor Swift Sirius channel. You can play video through the USB plugs over here if you want to do that, or you can connect your HDMI cable if you want to do that. I don't know who is bringing an HDMI cable with them and like watching things there. Maybe there's some sort of work devices that would be beneficial for you to have as a passenger over here. But the weird thing is they have some sort of privacy screen on it so that the driver can't see anything. So it kind of makes it pointless. This has to be used by the passenger and the passenger only. I guess perhaps to not distract the driver. Regardless, it's kind of confusing. You can use it to select a point of interest and kind of navigate for your driver, I guess. Oh, it's trying to find a parking lot now. So like I can select a parking lot and we can go there, and then I can send it to the driver and it will pull up on the big screen over here. I have to accept it, and then it's going to navigate you. But I just don't know if this, like, how is that any better than just doing it on your phone? Is it any faster? It doesn't really seem like it. And I believe you have to have the connection, the internet connection to be... Oh. Destination at 5:54 p.m. Thank you, ma'am. I believe you have to have the internet connection to even make use of that feature. You do have access to the cameras here, which I could see being helpful if you're trying to tow, but again, the driver can't see any of this, so you would have to be telling them what to do, and I just don't know if that's any better than them just looking at the camera themselves. So I've seen a lot of people online say that they would just prefer to have extra space here because the glove box is down here. I'm not really sure. Maybe I would use this if I was doing a lot of road tripping, but it just seems like one of those features that is like more fluff than something you would actually use in your everyday life with the truck. In the back seat, we have 3 spacious seats. There's not too much to write home about in the back seat here other than it's spacious, it's comfortable, you have plenty of storage, cup holders, everything that you might want. These are heated and ventilated, which is always nice when they think of your back seat passengers that way. There's a little more storage up here, and then you have a big plug, which is nice. You have, again, all of your USB plugs are covered in this Ram. They have done their due diligence to keep you charged up no matter what kind of iPhone you have. Your seat heaters and ventilation are down here, but you do have to have the driver or the front passenger control your temperature. So you better be friends with them or else they're just going to make it uncomfortable back here for you. You have more cup holders over here. Overall, nothing too exciting, but it's a solid back seat. You could definitely take a road trip in this. Adults would fit back here, so they did a nice job with it. So we've talked about the inside of the Ram 1500 and the outside and all of the exciting features. The only thing left to do is take it for a ride. The vibes are good. This is a nice truck. I really like the interior and it drives pretty well for a big truck. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a little more than 6. Also could be driver error. That was pretty slow though. So the Hemi this year is paired with like an e-torque hybrid setup that's going to get you kind of better performance, better fuel economy, just general better overall performance. But as far as fuel economy goes, I have not personally witnessed that. I believe they say that we're supposed to get, I think it's at least 15 in the city, and I'm getting 12.7 right now, and that's better than it was before because it was like 11 for most of the week. All right, let's try and brake. Not bad. So we have everything on now. I have it set to 45. Now I have it set to 50. We're going around a large curve, and it did a good job. I have my hands on the steering wheel. Stop yelling at me. Active lane limited, lane detection limited. So it canceled our help, which it's been doing a lot. Like, it doesn't seem to have as much coverage as a lot of the other brands that I have been trying. So it'll just like randomly in the middle of an intersection decide that it's done guiding me on the road, and it'll just kind of cancel, which isn't my favorite, but we're on a fairly like big road, so I would think that it would be covered, but I guess it's back on now. When it's on, it works. It's just, it doesn't seem quite as sophisticated as some of the other ones that we have tested, so that's just something to be aware of. But otherwise, this drives very nicely. So the lane keep assist is back on and our hands-free steering, but we kind of still have to keep our hands on the steering wheel. And it does not tell me when there are like vehicles around me, which I think is interesting. A lot of the other systems will tell you when there's like an object on either side or someone coming up on your bumper, just so that you know that they're there. And in a big truck like this, it's always nice to have that kind of backup because of all the blind spots. So it's just kind of telling us that the systems are on and engaged. Let's see if it can do this curve, okay? I feel like we're a little closer to the side than I would like. Okay. Yeah, it's telling me that like I'm going in the lane. Like, yeah, because you're not helping me. All right, I'm gonna override it again. So active driving assist and adaptive cruise control, not the most sophisticated, but I'm sure they will improve with time. I'm gonna hit cancel, but they get the job done. So overall, fast enough, drives well, it handles well, the steering is pretty good. I mean, it is a big truck, so if you have been looking at the 2026 Ram, I would definitely say give it a shot. So just a lot of thoughtful details that make this a solid truck that you would definitely be able to live with as your daily driver and still have plenty of room for the kids, luggage, whatever it is that you're toting around in the back and towing around in the back. All right, we're coming up to a red light. So let's see if it stops us. It did. Okay. I am pleased with your offering. All right, let's see how it does when we start back up again. Whoa. Jeez, I didn't like that. So usually when you like press on the gas after you have this engaged, it'll just kind of get up to speed, but that like jumped a little more than I would like. How much people use these systems is entirely dependent on the driver and how they use the truck, so maybe you don't use them at all and you don't care. For truck stuff, it's doing a great job, and compared to the last truck that I had, this handles so much better. The suspension definitely does a better job of kind of soaking up those bumps and making it like more comfortable inside so that you're not bouncing all over the place. Because on a vehicle that I had recently, it was like being in a golf cart going 80. Okay, so now it's speeding up because we got out from behind this car that was there. It's still guiding us, doing a good job of it. Whee! Not bad. Like, I can deal with that. You're definitely able to overtake on the highway. You can pass people. You can do whatever you need to do. Like, this is not slow by any means. It's not a 0 to 60 time on paper isn't the end all be all for stats for a truck like this. I think everywhere else where it matters, it has been a solid truck all week, so I'm going to accept that. So that is the 2026 Ram 1500 Limited in a nutshell. Like I said, there are a lot of trim levels for you to choose from. So if you're looking for more of a budget workhorse and you don't want to spend more than 50 grand, you'll definitely be able to find that. This limited trim sits near the top of the trim levels, but there are definitely more luxurious options above it. There are some cool ones below it too. It just kind of depends on your budget. But if you go on the Ram website, you can play around with all of the different features and settings, mess with those engine options, and see if you can get your perfect truck. Overall, I think this limited trim has basically everything that I could want in a truck. It can tow around 9,000 pounds, which is super nice to have. You can get ones that tow higher, but 9,000 pounds is a pretty good amount. I think the interior is solid, it looks great, and at 80 grand, it's fairly reasonable for truck prices these days. But while you're here on the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. Check out some of our other truck reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Amanda Cline. This is the 2026 Ram 1500. Thank you for watching.